A lot of the times, organizers, teachers, promoters, they are running events at a loss.
The more you charge less for something, the more you create the perception that this thing costs less.
If people can pay $6 for a coffee, they can pay $20 for a social if they understand the value. I do think that some people think that dance is just like, whatever, why should you pay for dance?
Events that are sold out or events that are close to selling out and not breaking even. That's very sad. And that's very sad. Things are expensive. Things are getting expensive. Like Alison was saying, people are paying $7 for a coffee. Jesus Christ.
If you are willing to help and give a hand, we are willing to give you a discount.
Yeah. The last thing I think I would share about all of these, Alison, is that we need to get really good at saying no.
What is the true value of a dance class or social? Why do we pay $20 for a meal, but hesitate to pay the same for 5 hours of dancing and entertainment? Well, let's find out. Hello everyone, and welcome back to ZoukNerds. In this episode, we are talking about a difficult topic in the dance industry, the financial health of our dance community. It's all about perception, simply because often the perceived value doesn't match the real costs. Organizers, teachers, and promoters are often losing money, and it's not sustainable. But there are solutions. So, join us as we explore how we can educate our communities and implement simple systems to help everyone understand the true value and cost of dance events. So, let's go! Hello everyone, and welcome back. My name is Alison Sanji, and let's welcome back our beautiful co-host. Hello, Gui Prada.
Hello, Alison. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Very excited for this episode.
And you know that Gui doesn't say that lightly, because this is something that we've been wanting to talk for quite a long time, but we wanted to form our thoughts and opinions about this. And today we're going to be talking about the perceived value, that idea of how much does something cost. How much does a dance class cost, or a social cost, a weekender cost, a festival cost? And how does that compare to everything else in our world? Because, and here's why, the big why. A lot of the times, organizers, teachers, promoters, they are running events at a loss. What do I mean? They are running events and losing money, and quite possibly taking it out of their own day job, or maybe their regular classes to subsidize and to complement that weekender or that festival or that social. And as teachers ourselves, as well as organizers, but as teachers, we feel bad. We feel like, what can I do to help? Like, there's only so much that a teacher can do by giving a discount on their fees or by giving extra hours for the same price and many things. But really, that's another conversation that we can have another time. I think today's main topic is really how we educate and how we build a culture to make people understand a little bit more the value of a dance class or of a dance anything. Because to me, it's really mind-boggling when a person wants to come to a social and the social goes for 5 hours with DJ, with beautiful venue, lights, air conditioning, and all of the things. And they think that $20 is too much. Like, you're getting 4-5 hours of entertainment in an industry that runs at a bare minimum in terms of profits, and $20 is too much. But most people would happily go on Uber Eats and order takeout and pay $20 for, I don't know, a burrito plus a drink plus $5 delivery fee plus 25% tip, and it's okay. But why not 5 hours of entertainment in a social? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So I'm just going to give the mic to Gui before I talk for the next hour because I have too much to say. So Gui, tell us what's in your mind about this.
Oof, there is a lot in my mind about this. I think the experience of having the local school, the local studio, and organizing local events, and being a teacher at weekenders in other cities, being a teacher in festivals, being a teacher in retreats, and also because of the curiosity to know how well the event is going financially. I ask the questions to the organizers sometimes, to the organizers that I know more, that I trust more, or that we have been in a longer professional relationship. I ask, were you able to break even? Or were you able to make a profit? And sometimes, yes. Lately, however, I've been noticing that, like Alison was saying, people are operating at the bare minimum, right? I think that was the word that you said, Alison, bare minimum. Almost operating at a loss, sometimes operating at a loss. Witnessing full events or almost full events that are almost sold out, and they are still losing money, And that thing makes me so sad, guys, because I know the pain of losing money when you organize an event, because you have put so many hours into the thing. You are organizing an event for months, and during the event, you are on the go all the 3 days. If it's a weekend, you are on the go for 72 hours. Even if the event's like 4 hours a day, 4 hours of classes, the moment that you wake up, the moment that you fall asleep, you are on it because someone cannot come and you need to find another person, and then you need to reimburse, and then you need to refund, and then you need to, something happen in the venues. There's all these things that are going on. So for the amount of work that is required to put something together, I think we can do something about changing the perception of how much that event costs, or how much that event can charge, how much you can pay for that event. We do have the matter of affordability to take into account, of course, the average income of a certain place, like how people spend their money in a given location changes a lot, and also changes the way that we can charge people, the way that we can present our fees, or the way that we can set the tickets. All of that considered, I still think, and Alison, I think as we're talking about this, I think we agree on that point. I still think that the teachers and organizers can, over time, develop people's perception of value of the content that is being presented to them, the content that is being brought. The other thing that we have been noticing is the more you charge, let's say, less for something, the more you do that, the more you create the perception that this thing costs less. So when then you need to charge a little bit more or more, then the people are going to complain. And of course they're going to complain, because for a year you have been charging this much, and then they get used to that amount. And then you charge a little bit more, oh, it's too expensive. And then I'm going to finish here, Alison, for you, so you can talk about this, because I know you are ready. The thing, people here don't pay more than XXX for an event, which I totally understand, completely understand. In our experience, I truly think that we can slowly develop people's perception to see that in this situation, we can charge more. In this intensive here, the way that it's laid out, the way that it's carried out, the way that it's designed, we can charge more. In this weekender here, we can charge less. In this social here, we can charge more. So create this understanding that some things cost more, some things cost less. And then I hope we can all break even, at least break even. And guys, breaking even is basically not paying to have to work. See the absurdity of that. Breaking even is you being 0-0. You worked your ass off and you didn't need to pay. So I think it's only fair that we can at least get some profit, because it's so much work, my people. So much work. So yeah, go ahead, Addison. I'm getting excited too.
And just for clarity here for everyone out there, I know a lot of you understand business and you may be very much into entrepreneurship and all of that. But in the dance community, when we're talking about breaking even, we're talking about the organizer taking nothing, zero. Yes. We're not talking about breaking even after the organizer pays themselves. We're talking about just paying for venue, flights, food, artist fees, and whatever is related to the event directly. All of the months of organization, promotion, graphic designing, responding to texts, emails of like, where's the schedule? What time does it start? All of that unpaid to the organizer. We're not talking about breaking even after organizer fees, because most of the organizers in the dance community never even consider that they could make money out of it.
A lot of them do this for passion.
Yeah. And I know that for myself. Most of the events that I've organized in my life, including festivals like Brazuki, they're all about, I just don't want to lose money. Yeah, that's all. You know, Brazuki is a special case because it is a not-for-profit event. But even weekenders and things that I've organized in the past, they're all just very much like, I don't care all of the time that I have spent on this. As long as I don't have to take any of my other income to put into this, I'm happy because the community is growing, the community is happy, and I always consider that as an investment. But it's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. So we need to change the way we do things. We need to change the perception of the dance community that if you pay $200 for a festival, why should you pay $200 for a weekender? Well, because you don't get the same service. Just think about it. In a festival, you're getting like 100 people in a classroom, 150 people in a classroom. Okay, maybe a smaller one, 70 people in the classroom. Do you actually get the same attention that you would get on a weekender with 20 people, with 25 people? On a weekender where you have the same artist for 6 or 8 or 12 hours that crafted those classes for that weekender, a festival is different. It's completely different. It's not the same. When you go to a music festival, you pay maybe $200 and you get, 10 different shows. But you still pay $200 to watch one artist in one show that is going to last 2 hours in a stadium. And the actual musical festival will last a whole day. So when you look at it, the weekender is kind of a similar comparison because you're getting more of one thing, of one person, and that's why it gets a little more expensive. Plus, you're getting a lot of less people in the same venue. So I think it's all about packaging, right? Like I said, but people don't pay more than this. People don't pay more than that. Look, in our experience, it's all about how you educate the community, right? If people can pay $6 for a coffee, they can pay $20 for a social if they understand the value. If they don't understand the value, they obviously not going to think it's worth it. So our part in the community as teachers, promoters, organizers is to slowly educate the people who are part of our community and let them know. Sometimes we just have to let them know so they understand. For example, a lot of the times in festivals, weekenders, and socials, people go like, hey, I can only do one day. And at least for most of my weekenders, I always sit with the organizer and I talk to them how they want to organize this. And I ask them, I say, can we please make sure that everybody does the entire weekend? Okay, because the weekenders that I do, They're always 100% custom and crafted for that community, for what they want and what they need. I don't just travel around teaching the same combo I taught in the last 10 cities. Never. So I asked them, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is mandatory. Sure, some places that work, but other places don't work. So then I asked the organizer, can we please make sure that we can at least have them commit to a progression? This is going to be a special weekender. This is going to be a transformative weekender. We need people to take this seriously. If they don't take it seriously, then they are not for this weekender. So then the second option that I offer is, can you make sure that if they want to do Sunday, they have to do Saturday and Friday? If they want to do Saturday and not Sunday, they have to do Friday. But if they can only do one day, they can only do Friday. Oh, but I have this person, they've whatever, been teaching, been dancing, been to the moon and back. They can only do Sunday. No, I'm sorry. No, because the things that I'm going to be talking on Friday and Saturday are extremely necessary for the success of the classes and the experience of everyone who comes on Sunday. This person who shows up on Sunday is going to completely destroy the flow, pay less, and affect the experience for everyone else who was there Saturday and Friday and paid full price. I don't think that's fair. I'd rather not have that person there. I'd rather have less people, but this group is there and they are going to understand how we got to the Sunday topics, how we got to that level. Of course, I'm going to say this. I know that this is very much of a dream, that as a teacher, you cannot expect that every weekend. You cannot tell every organizer to do this. Or if you are an organizer, that's not possible everywhere. I understand this. But that's why I also select the places I go. I want to go to the places that can do the work that I want to do in a way that the community is going to feel this long-lasting transformation, that in 3 or 6 months I come back and I see it, I feel it. So in the end, for the promoters, we have to actually spend a lot of time with them. When I'm organizing those kind of things, I spend a lot of time with the promoters. Like last Sunday, I had a meeting with an organizer who wants to bring me to a weekender, and we talked about all of this. And I told them, look, do this, do this, do this, tell them this, tell them this, tell them that, to make sure that people understand and that they educate the community. Because I think that's really what's missing. I do think that some people think that dance is just like, whatever, why should you pay for dance? There's a few people like that in the community, but majority, they just really don't understand what it takes and the costs that are involved with everything that we do. And I think that's a much bigger issue that we have to face in the community, because so many organizers and teachers and events are just stopping and they are not continuing simply because there's not enough people supporting and valuing it enough. That's not what we want, right? We want the community to grow. So we need something to change.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that can be very easily overcorrection. That like people might listen to this episode and like, okay, let me adjust the prices. Let me adjust the things. And then
slowly.
Yeah. Then if it's very sudden, it's not going to work, because people do get used to paying a certain amount. Like they expect something to cost something.
Yeah.
Our experience here has been incremental, slow change in that perspective. There are a couple of things to implement that I think can be really helpful. For example, we don't accept Venmo payments or like several different forms of payment. I know from a customer perspective, it's very good for you to make it easy for the customer in the sense, the way they can pay. For us, actually, it's way harder And it starts to open all these avenues and all these different ways and different forms and different amounts. So establishing a unified way of paying through like a platform, or if it's only Venmo, for example, for the people in the US, it's only Venmo and it's this much, that actually makes a difference. It made a difference here for us. People would come at the door. Oh, can I pay at the door? Oh, we have to log in and pay through the platform. And it is an added step. And sometimes people get frustrated with that added step. But again, is the thing of developing a culture, developing this new approach to how things are done in its basic forms. For example, paying for the thing. And there, it's easier for you to blame the system. Like, no, we have to go through the system, and the system is this. And we pay, and the amount is this much. Oh, can I get a discount? Like, oh, maybe let me see here. And sometimes we do give discounts, discount codes, given very specific situations, right? What I've been noticing is that organizers are opening several exceptions for several people. Yeah. And then in the end of the day, out of, 30 people in the room, maybe 5 of those people, 5 to 10 of those people did the full price, paid the full ticket. All the rest has some sort of discount or some sort of special condition, And then in the end of the day, guys, we are having full events that don't break even, events that are sold out. They are not breaking even, or events that are close to selling out and not breaking even. That's very sad. And that's very sad. So we are trying to make dance more accessible. We are making an effort to do that. And then we do provide ways for people to come into the dance, to take the classes. And I find it such a noble effort to say, I just want the person to take the class. Right now, I don't care if they cannot pay. I just want them to come. And I find that so beautiful. To me, aligning that desire for that person to come with whether or not that person who is coming is going to understand the value of what you are giving, then we're all for it. Because sometimes you really want someone to come, but the person doesn't understand the value, but they come and they're not engaged. They come and they're not contributing in the way that you thought at first that they would. And that's the situation. Like, you spending some time observing, spending some time noticing if that person that you want to give more is ready to receive more and is going to receive more and contribute to the thing that you are putting out. And again, the thing of balance, the thing of observation. Very hard not to make overcorrections, very hard not to say, oh, okay, so now nobody comes for free. Nobody comes with a discount. It's not that at all. It's more giving more time to observe, to notice, and then give those special conditions to those who will receive them and will take advantage of them and then give back to the community in some shape or form. To us here, at several levels, at the level of the regular classes, at the level of the weekenders and bigger events, is really creating this culture of perceiving that the value of the thing that you're offering changes depending on the circumstance. The regular class has this value. The weekender has this value. The weekender with several instructors has this value. The weekender with one instructor has this value. This social here is this much, has this value. So it's just developing this over time. And again, I repeat, this is over time. I just don't remember how long it took us to develop the culture of the assessments between levels.
Oh, yeah.
At first, it was a little bumpy, but now people ask, when is the assessment? People know the assessment exists. People wait for the assessment. People want to do the assessment.
At first, it was like we were separating the ones who can reach God and the ones who never reach God. It was never that, but people made us feel like we were creating this division. No, we're just setting standards. Thank you very much. And if you cannot understand that we have standards, then I guess this is not the right place for you. Simple as that. We have standards for our levels, for our classes. When you pay $200 to join a dance class, do you want people who are not supposed to be there, who has no idea of their basics and timing to be there? No, you don't. That's why you also need to do an assessment to make sure that you are not making somebody's experience worse by being on that class. Simple.
Exactly. It's one of those things like, oh, I want everybody to have the right to this thing, but not in my neighborhood. You know, kind of situation. Not in my neighborhood.
No, everybody should be assessed, but I don't have to.
But I don't have to. Exactly.
Like, I shouldn't. No, I deserve to be here.
Yeah. That was like a big shift for us. It is so beneficial, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too, we really stopped, and that might seem a little controversial, people, so hang on, that we really stopped asking people what they want to learn. Surveys and like, what would you like the next course to be about?
Yeah, when we're like coming up with new summer courses or special courses, you know, like for so many times we were thinking, oh, you know, like the students are asking for this, the students are asking for that. So let's do a survey. Bro.
Yep. We'll do the survey and we'll get like, guys, I remember the numbers. Yeah, they are in my head. We did a survey and we have 78 responses to the survey. And we had topics of things that we wanted people to choose for the next class. And 54 people out of 78 choose this particular topic. And then we very confidently opened the course. Like, oh my God, it's going to sell out immediately. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have no issues at all. Not only it did not sell out, but we had time filling out the minimum. And that was very confusing. We're like, guys, 54 people said they would do the course. And then we did in the next cycle, we did it again. And it happened again. And then I think it was you, Alison, that said, guys, we need you. No, we're just going to
cut it out.
Put out the course that we think they need. And that's going to be it. And that was it. And then I've been noticing when we go to cities that normally I receive from the organizers a list of topics that people would like to learn more. And those topics are in mind. And we start the class with those topics. But very often, the moment that I show what I'm excited about, they forget what was the thing in the first place. And that comes, again, the teaching that Jaime Arocha used to share with us in the teacher training is that the students of dance will show excitement about what you show excitement for.
Yeah.
And that's one piece of wisdom that I have been taking along with me, that we have been taking, not ever since I started teaching, but mostly after having this realization that came with the surveys. When we did those surveys and realizing that the topics that people wanted were not filling up, but the topics that we thought would be good for them, they were all filling up. So like, oh, let's continue on this path here.
It's very hard because people don't know what they don't know and they don't know what they want most of the times. I don't know. There's so many don't knows. Like, yeah, they think they do. We think we do. We think we don't. It's very, very confusing. Yes. But what we need to is to set reasons why we do things, like we talked in the previous episodes, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, what for. If you're organizing a weekender just for yourself, sometimes I see organizers who want to bring this couple or that couple, and I'm like, why? You have like 5 students. Oh, you know, because if we bring them, then the dance is going to pick up here. A lot of people are going to see it. Yeah, but it's going to be like 6 months of work and you're going to have to raise like $10,000 worth of sales. And there's only 5 people who dance Zouk in your community. Like, don't do it. Please don't do it. So many organizers come to us and say, Alison, I don't know what to do. I've lost like more than $10,000 over the last few weekenders that I made because I was trying to, you know, put the energy into my community. And I'm so thankful, but at the same time, so sad to hear these kind of things. Because unfortunately, those organizers are trying their best, but at the same time, they're lost. Because one thing is for sure, in my opinion. You need to understand who you're bringing and if that kind of artist will actually help the community. Or are that kind of artist a sugar high kind of artist? Again, another topic for another episode. But there are artists and there are teachers that will really help a community when they need sugar. And there are artists and teachers that will really help a community when they need the veggies. And as an organizer and as a teacher, you need to know what kind of food your community needs right now. Sometimes they need a little boost. So yes, bringing somebody who's going to teach them some new things and some exciting things that will probably maybe excite them to come back and take classes and train. But if your community is at the very beginnings and they still really haven't found that passion yet, I think you better bring an artist who is going to show the essence of the dance, the essence of partner connection, the essence of what a dance community feels like and why do we love it so much, instead of the sugar high, kind of caffeine high moves. Because these people are still not really fully invested and in love with dance. So different teachers for different purposes, all valid. But I think this is just a little something that I wanted to say that is related more to like a different type of episode. Because I think this episode is really hard to stay like in one track because everything is related. Honestly, this is so hard to stay on track here, guys.
Yes, it's a very valuable, very important part of the ecosystem that we have. I think the more we talk here, Alison, I'm noticing the thought that is coming to my head consistently, which is the matter of something done over the course of time, like really taking its time to develop that perception, to develop that awareness. We talked about this in one episode when to grow a community, somebody gets an artist and does a weekender. Does a weekender with the purpose of growing community. We talked about this in one episode before.
Yeah.
And for us, I think this ties to the perception of value because when you bring someone to spark the growth in the community, really early when the community has 10 people, you don't have the desired effect because you don't have enough people. You simply don't have enough people. And the people who are going to come for the weekend are people who are already aware that the dance exists in the first place. The thing is, when you bring that couple, you already start the process of developing awareness of how much that thing costs. So in the very early days, you're already setting a standard of costs about an event. And then, for example, if it's early days and you only have 5 people, you want them to come. So you might put it very cheap. And so from there, you start developing this thing. Even with the international super famous artists, it's $100 for 10 hours of class, or $70 for 8 hours of class. So you start there, you started developing the perception. In order not to start to what is the expression in English? In Portuguese is shoot your own foot. Não shoot yourself on the foot. If you have in mind the long term, and that might be the biggest takeaway, the long term development of the scene. You do offer events like that and you want them to be doable, feasible. You want not only people to be able to pay for the event, but you also want it to break even and very fairly make profits to pay for the amount of work that you put. From those early days, perceiving, is it the time to bring people? Is it the time to do this? Do I have enough people to do this? And when I do this, I need to realize what is fair to charge to these people and combine the wanting them to come with wanting it to be feasible, wanting it to be doable in the long term. So it's this alignment, guys. We are not saying in any way that it's easy. It's not easy at all. There is not an exact way to verify the fair hourly rate of a class. For example, here, for some time, the class, we used to calculate the cycle, the price of the cycle, the price of 2 months of class based on how much an hour of class would cost. And then some years ago, we started with $18 was the hour of class. And then went to 19, 20, 21, 22. And over the years, with inflation, adjust a little bit to make sense. It got to a point though that this amount that we thought it was, high enough was not paying the things. We were like breaking even. So like things are expensive. Things are getting expensive. Like Alisson always say, people are paying $7 for a coffee. Jesus Christ. It's a lot of money for a coffee, my people. Again, not saying that is easy, but it's trying or making the effort collectively maybe to find or to develop the perception that people have of how much is fair to pay for certain things. Like Alison was saying, in a festival, in a congress, you are going there not necessarily to learn in a progressive way, to learn in a consistent way. You go into the festival to get snippets of the big artists, maybe, to get a lot of social dancing, to compete in the Jack and Jills. So you have other things that are attractive about the festival. If you're going to a weekender, that's a high value thing because you are going to get most of the times, in most weekenders that I know, progressive learning, the methodology of these teachers. Yeah. And then you're just basically getting more in terms of learning. You might not get more in terms of social dancing, competing, like variety of people to dance with, a variety of artists to observe, but you are getting a lot of content and a lot of curated content, which tends to be more expensive. Yeah, a curated something more than a non-curated something because somebody took time to carefully trace the progression, to mindfully create a track for people. So I think it's only fair that it costs more, And that's it, guys. I think in the end of the day, it takes time. Again, you are not alone in this journey. There are other people that you can talk to. You can talk to us, you can talk to Alison, you can talk to me. You can talk to the organizers in other scenes. I think like a network of support is something that can be beneficial for everybody to be able to continuously provide these opportunities for people to learn. Because in the end, that's what I think it is. A bunch of really passionate people wanting more people to fall in love with what they fell in love with and giving opportunities to them. I think in the end, that's the big motivation that I see. And I find it so beautiful. I just want it to be also sustainable because the people start with a passion and they slowly start losing the passion because it just becomes too hard to keep going.
And something that you can do for those people who really deserve that discount or deserve that little help, like there are so many people struggling out there with their bills because there are many instances that for weekenders and for festivals, I will open up an exception here and there for somebody. But here's the thing. You got to give to get. That's my number one rule. Okay, you want to come to the weekender and you cannot pay for the full weekend. Okay, so the problem is money here. Can you help out somehow? Can you do something? Can you come before the party and help me set up? Can you stay after the party, help me clean up? Can you be available in the afternoon maybe to drive somebody to pick something up, to go and get the lunch for the artists? If you are willing to help and give a hand, we are willing to give you a discount. So for those of you who need a discount, please reach out to the event organizer and offer them something. Because a lot of the times the event organizers are already struggling to make that point of like where they feel comfortable enough with the sales. Most of the times they are just losing money. So when people just go in and just ask for a discount, it feels very discouraging. It feels a lot of the times like very hurtful. And I say that as an organizer, and I say that as a teacher who has weekenders where the organizer comes and talks to me and say, oh, listen, I've been struggling this week because people, they're just asking for discounts all the time because they go to another event and this event and that event gives them discount and every event gives them discount. And because we are not giving them discount, they are saying that they don't want to come. It's kind of like blackmailing or something. I don't know. So I think that as organizers, we have to stand firm and stand strong and educate the community. Like Guy said, have processes, have systems in place, all payments, all enrollments, everything through the platform, all the information on the website, how much I send a link. That's how I deal with this. When people ask me, oh, how much is the pass for this? Oh, here's the link. Where do I sign up? Here's the link. Look, if it's a conversation that I don't need to have, I'm not going to have, because I already have a lot of time that I spend organizing this, writing the website, writing the Facebook event, the Instagram posts, the newsletters, and all of this. And now I have to reply to every single message of people asking the same thing that I already wrote and posted and published in 10 different places. No. Systems in place as an organizer is going to save your life. And then having platform for payments and things like that, going to make people understand that the only way to get to that event is to buy a ticket through this platform. One time that you let somebody pay cash, one time you let somebody pay on direct bank transfer or anything like that, they're going to tell a friend who's going to tell another friend who's going to tell another person. And then it just means that people go like, oh, you know, if you message the organizer, they'll do something. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Oh, you don't have a pass? Just show up. It's fine. They're going to let you in anyway. That is, bro, every year at my events, I have to turn people out. When we sold out, which thankfully happens almost every year, we have people flying from a different state and we have to tell them, no, I'm sorry, you cannot come in because you don't have a pass. We're at capacity and we're not going to do anything. I'm sorry. It's just the rules. It's on our website and we don't want to get in trouble with the police. No, but not just that. I mean, it's the more we allow people to twist our arm, the less control we have. Same thing with classes, socials, events. So for all of you teachers and organizers who are out there trying to figure out how to educate your community, I think the best thing to do is to be honest. Just simply be honest, be open. Tell them, hey guys, I want to bring these artists or I want to organize this social, but the reality is this, if I don't have 20 people, there's no way I can make it. Can I have like 20 people confirming by the end of the month? Otherwise, I'm going to tell the artist that I'm not going to bring them and it's not going to happen. Do things like that. And I'm not saying confirmation verbally. $20 down, $50 down. Like, I need you to put your money literally where your mouth is. So if you're committing and I'm going to spend thousands of dollars with flights and fees and all of that, I need people to back me up. So those are a few tips that if you're an organizer or a teacher, bringing people over, bringing artists over and dealing with the customers, maybe you can use some of these systems that I just suggested.
Yeah. The last thing I think I would share about all of these, Alison, is that we need to get really good at saying no.
Oh, if you haven't yet, please listen to the last 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes where pretty much every episode we talked about this.
Yeah. Guys, like Alison said, somebody comes from different states to come to the event. And man, it is hard. But it's like if you want to create really the culture that people need to follow, the system that you put in place so you don't go crazy, you gotta get better at saying no. That might be the hardest part. You know, like when I was organizing a festival, guys, I needed to say no to so many people at the door. They were at the door. Yeah. Oh, I thought I could just come. I said, no. You needed to register on the website and I needed to go through a virtual audition process and then get accepted. Oh, and you needed to like
track, right?
Yeah. And then it'd be like, no, unfortunately, no. And they would be in front of you saying, please. And you have to look them in the eye and say no. Guys, so hard. It was really difficult. In certain situations, people get really passionate about the fact that they think they can be there. It's their right to go in the event that you are holding, you know? So
You have the right to walk on the street. You don't have the right to walk into this business.
Exactly.
That's it.
Last thing, say no. The last thing, don't do this alone. Do not do this alone. You need help. You need people with you to be able to support you in these moments. But when you have the systems in place, when you send the links, the forms, it becomes a lot easier because you do have something established and you make more objective a process that could be otherwise very subjective. Nah. So guys, and again, you're not alone. Cool. You have us.
Yes. Listen to our podcasts and reach out to us if you need anything. And with that, we want to once again thank you so much for being here with us. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, share, do all the things that you can do to help us, because every time you do that, we get somebody watching for the first time or coming back to ZoukNerds, and it helps the platform to grow. So thank you once again. We hope that you learned something in this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Beijos, beijos. Abraços. Ciao, people.
Bye, everybody. See you next time.